breaking news.
We begin with breaking news at noon. The former superintendent of water in Waterbury now accused of lying on his job application, and he's facing criminal charges after resigning from that job last week. Your reporter Owen Kingsley is digging in. He's been following the story since we first learned about the resignation. Now joining us live with the new information outside of Waterbury City Hall. Owen.
Well, Kara, it was a shocking announcement late last week. The city says that it discovered some form of misconduct from former water superintendent Brad Millay while investigating those two fire hydrants that stopped working during a house fire on Bennett Avenue last month. Well, this morning we learned that Millay allegedly lied on his job application. Millay has been charged with 2 counts of forgery. He was arrested just last night. Investigators say that Millay intentionally fabricated his educational and professional experience to appear qualified for the position. Millay was hired as assistant water superintendent in July of 2023 and promoted to superintendent 2 years later. Waterbury police now say he was not qualified for the roles. Millay immediately resigned when they asked him about it last week. This morning, Millay responded to an email saying he did attend 5 years of college but did not graduate. He admitted to checking a box on the application that said otherwise. He defended himself, saying that his 20-year career did qualify him for the position. In part, he adds, quote, "I successfully led the city through 2 of the worst catastrophes in its history, with the continued praise of everyone involved during those times." He continued with, quote, "I love the city and did everything that I could to help it move forward. This move was embarrassing to myself and my family and uncalled for." Now, we have been told that Mayor Paul Penarewski is still undecided on whether or not he is going to address this topic to the media today. He has already denied multiple interview requests that we have sent him over the past week. Your reporter live in Waterbury, I'm Owen Kingsley, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.